Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Breaking news this evening. The car that authorities say belongs to a missing 63-year-old woman in Stutsman County has been found submerged in water. Sonia Heinley has been missing in that area since Sunday night. Stutsman County Sheriff Chad Kaiser tells us the car was found this morning near Heinley's home. He says Sunday's weather could have played a role in the car ending up in a slough. Officials on the scene have confirmed with Valley News Live dive crews are currently working to pull the car out and trying to figure out if there is a body inside. We'll have much more on this story tonight on Valley News Live at 6. A North Dakota man is lucky to be alive after getting trapped inside a grain bin for over an hour. It all happened Sunday afternoon in Lincoln, North Dakota. The man was submerged in over 15,000 bushels of corn until finally being found. Today, Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with one of the many first responders who says it's a day he'll never forget.
Every minute's crucial.
In a race against the clock, dozens of area first responders rushed to this farmstead in Lincoln. With a man trapped inside, volunteer firefighter Terry Novak went down the road for his backhoe to tear the bin open.
When that first flush came out, I was just praying that he would come sliding out. And obviously that didn't happen, so we had to go in and dig more.
While Novak dug, the rest shoveled their way through the bin. But as minutes turned into an hour, the grim thought of their rescue becoming a recovery flooded into the back of everyone's mind.
But nobody gave up.
Rescuers finally came upon the man just before 2 that afternoon, still alive after breathing through his teeth for most of his time trapped inside.
Then once they found him, it was still crucial too, because there was still corn that could come down and bury him a second time. So it was so intense through the whole thing.
As medics carried the man out on a stretcher, Novak says he vividly remembers the somber quiet that fell on the farmstead. Everyone finally breathing a sigh of relief for the first time.
I wanted to stand up out of the backhoe and just cheer. Novak
says the man only suffered a dislocated shoulder and is doing well.
He was such a cool, calm person. Maybe that helped him through the whole thing. You know, we were active and everybody was moving. He had to slow himself down. He had to bring his peace of mind being buried.
But for Novak, he says the day hasn't yet left his mind.
Everything just worked out. You know, you think of things you could have done, but for some reason everything worked out.
In Lincoln.
Don't give up. That was over an hour. Don't give up.
Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Along with cutting the bin open, some vents were pushing air towards the man who was trapped inside. The sun was very deceiving out there today because it is definitely not as warm as it has been looking. The temps are brutally cold, and Hutch joins us out in those frigid temperatures right now with a little experiment. Hutch, what are you doing out there in that freezing weather?
Melanie, it's real cold out here already, and we just have a little bit of wind outside. First and foremost, the temperatures are below zero. We've been there all day. Factor in the wind and we get dangerous on exposed skin like Hutch's earlobes. I should be wearing a hat. More on that in a second. Right now, let's let you know about the weather. First and foremost, we do have that wind chill advisory in effect for the area until the morning hours. Secondly, temperatures now, we're below zero across the region, particularly from the Red River Valley into northwest Minnesota, where we're between 5 and 10 below in many locations already. Factor in the wind chill, and it's ridiculous. And skin can freeze and you can get frostbite in mere minutes. Here is a look at your hour-by-hour forecast as we go through the evening tonight and overnight. We will challenge record lows in both Fargo and Grand Forks. Both have records for tomorrow's date of around 21 below. I think we're going to top that, at least briefly, with wind chills between 40 and 45 below. Just as an experiment to do this for you so you can keep up with us. If you happen to be hanging out the laundry tonight, well, don't do it, folks. It's dangerously cold out here, so Hutch will get the shirt a little bit wet, and we'll check in at Valley News Live at 6 o'clock and just see what happens to the shirt here. But we got to get it good and wet. This must be coated with some anti-water device. There we go. Okay, that's going to do it. And secondly, you see this trick a lot when the temperatures get way below freezing, like 20 to 30 below, like it will be tomorrow morning. Very hot water thrown up into the air. When it's this cold, it evaporates almost instantaneously and you make a cloud. So I'll throw this up and then we'll toss it back inside to you. Melanie, here goes. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, and there it goes. I've never actually seen
inside.
that. That looks awesome. Thank you so much, Hutch. And as he said, we'll be checking back in at Valley News Live at 6 to check on Hutch's frozen laundry. Meanwhile, morning commuters on the 12th Avenue North Bridge in Fargo had some travel trouble this morning. Several vehicles were smashed in a matter of just 20 minutes. Some drivers were wondering about the sight of no sand and salt on the slippery road. As Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard found out, laying down the mixture isn't a permanent solution.
You have the Main Avenue Bridge, the Red River Bridge, and what some call one of the most dangerous bridges in Fargo, 12th Avenue North. It got slippery real fast Tuesday morning, causing some unfortunate drivers to lose control. Experts say hundreds of crashes have happened here over the years due to ice.
Created like a frost with the cold temperatures, freezing pavement, air movement underneath, little sun came out, any moisture.
Oh gosh, easily 300 cars.
Shania Hartman walks by this bridge every day from class and has seen her fair share of mishaps.
It gets used a lot. In the summer, you get a lot of people walking on it too. Not really in the winter, because no one's insane.
Her and other students living in these apartments witnessed the action from their balconies.
I could go melt it today, but it's going to refreeze tonight. So where's the benefit?
So before you head out to the notorious 12th Avenue North Bridge or any other bridge in Fargo,
just drive slow and be careful. Sometimes it's hard to see coming up on the bridge.
And don't slam on your brakes. Experts say pump them instead. In Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt during the crash, and we do not know the exact cost of damage to all those cars that were involved. A Boston, Minnesota man and a teenager walked away with no injuries after their truck collided with a train in Polk County. It happened this morning on US 2 in Boston. Deputies say a train was heading west when it collided with a 52-year-old man driving a pickup truck. There was also a 17-year-old sitting in the front seat of the truck. Authorities say no one was injured and only minor damage was left behind to both the truck and the train. The investigation into a deadly hit and run out of Grand Forks continues. Police there are now offering a $5,000 reward for any information on the person and type of car they believe hit and killed a woman earlier this year. Officials say it happened on April 7th by I-29 and Demers Avenue. Police now think a Nissan Murano was most likely the car involved in the crash that killed 39-year-old Christina Melvin. Other potential cars include a Nissan Rogue, a Nissan X-Trail, and a Nissan Quest. Officials believe the debris likely came from the front right corner of the car and possibly the hood. A report of a possible fire at the American Legion in Moorhead turned out to be an electrical malfunction. Firefighters got the call around 1:30 for the American Legion on 30th Street North this afternoon. They tell us when they got there, they saw a light haze emerging from the women's bathroom. They quickly learned it was a tripped breaker and started to look to see if the motor was burned out. Firefighters say the malfunction did not leave behind any damage or any injuries. The family of the Purim native killed in the Black Hawk helicopter crash say funeral arrangements have been set. The funeral for Charlie Nord will be at Purim High School this coming Monday at 11. A visitation is set for Sunday and before the funeral. Nord and 2 other people died when a helicopter crashed in Kimball, Minnesota earlier this month. He leaves behind a young daughter and his wife. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help with funeral expenses that can be found on our website. Congressional Democrats have announced a modified North American trade agreement with Canada and Mexico. It's a deal that the Democrats reached in coordination with the Trump administration, which updates the 25-year-old NAFTA accord. The timing comes just as 2 articles of impeachment were unveiled against President Trump.
There is no question, of course, that this trade agreement is much better than NAFTA. But in terms of our work here, it is infinitely better than what was initially proposed by the administration.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement was too important to let slide and called it a victory for workers all across America. Meanwhile, a white-tailed doe has tested positive for chronic wasting disease in Douglas County, Minnesota. The doe was killed by its penmate. Officials later found the animal's brain and lymph node tissues came back positive for the disease. According to authorities, this is the first time CWD has been confirmed in Douglas County, and the site is now under quarantine. After the herd owner learned the doe tested positive for CWD, he made a decision to euthanize the other deer at the site and submit it for testing. 5 Minnesotans are among 9 people from 3 states whose E. coli infections have been linked primarily to Fresh Express Sunflower Crisp chopped salad kits. According to investigators from the Minnesota Department of Health, the Minnesota cases became ill between November 8th and November 16th. 2 people were hospitalized whose ages range from 21 to 91 years old. No deaths have been reported, but 1 person developed a type of kidney failure. Officials say this outbreak is caused by a different strain than the one that has been linked to romaine lettuce from California. The salad kits in question begin with lot code Z, and their UPC code can be found on our website. That's valleynewslive.com.